When did you replace your identical twin? Growing up with an identical twin sounds cool until you realize one of you got all the upgrades. That was my brother Dalton. Same face, same height, same DNA, but somehow he got the patch with extra charisma, perfect timing, and this weird ability to make any girl forget I existed the second he walked into a room. It started in 3rd grade with Dominique. She was my reading buddy, and we shared fruit snacks every day at recess. I was planning to ask her to the Valentine's dance when Dalton decided he liked her too. By Friday, she was holding his hand in the cafeteria, and I was eating my fruit snacks alone. That became the pattern for the next 15 years. Middle school was brutal. I dated Danya for 2 whole months, which felt like forever when you're 13. We went to the movies and shared popcorn and everything. Then Dalton came back from basketball camp that summer with abs, and suddenly Danya was confused about her feelings. She wasn't confused for long. They dated until high school. By sophomore year, I got smart and tried dating girls from other schools. Met this girl Haven at a debate tournament. She went to a high school 20 minutes away. We texted every night for months, and I thought I finally found someone Dalton couldn't steal. Then our schools played each other in basketball. Dalton scored 30 points, and Haven was suddenly really interested in coming to more of our games. They dated for 8 months. The worst one was college. I met Chloe in my organic chemistry class junior year. She was pre-med and gorgeous, and actually thought my science jokes were funny. We studied together all semester and started dating right before finals. I even introduced her to my family at Christmas, thinking it was serious this time. Dalton was doing some finance internship in New York, so I felt safe. But he came home for New Year's Eve, and by Valentine's Day, Chloe was posting Instagram stories from Manhattan visiting him every weekend. That one actually broke me for a while. After graduation, I stopped trying to date seriously. I focused on my engineering job and figured maybe some people just aren't meant to find someone. Dalton kept cycling through relationships with models and lawyers and one actual Olympic swimmer. He was living this perfect life in his Manhattan penthouse, making stupid money on Wall Street while I was writing code in Cleveland. Then everything changed when he met Brooklyn. She was different from his usual type, a pediatric surgeon who volunteered at homeless shelters and had never seen a single Marvel movie. Dalton fell hard, like buying a ring after 6 months hard. For the first time in our lives, he was the one sending me long texts about feelings and asking for relationship advice. He moved back to Ohio just to be closer to her hospital. They got married in this massive ceremony where I had to stand there as best man pretending I was happy for them. The thing about Brooklyn, though, was that she was actually cool. At family dinners, she'd talk to me about my work and remember things I'd said weeks earlier. She laughed at my jokes, and not in that polite way people do. She had this way of calling Dalton out on his crap that nobody else did. When he'd interrupt me, she'd stop him mid-sentence and say, "Let your brother finish." Nobody had ever done that before. I tried to keep my distance, but Dalton was always working late doing deals, and Brooklyn would be at these family things alone. We started talking more. First just surface stuff, but then real conversations about books and travel, and why we both thought reality TV was secretly genius. She told me how Dalton had changed after the wedding, how he treated waiters like servants and expected her to give up surgeries for his work events, how he'd cheated twice already, but swore it meant nothing. I didn't plan what happened next. We were at my mom's birthday party, and Dalton was in London closing some merger. Brooklyn had a few glasses of wine and started crying in the kitchen, telling me about the 3rd affair she'd discovered. I hugged her, and then we were kissing, and then we were at my apartment not talking about Dalton at all. The guilt should have killed it, but instead, we kept meeting. Coffee between her surgeries, late dinners when Dalton was traveling, 6 months of becoming best friends who also happened to be falling in love. She filed for divorce, citing infidelity, and Dalton couldn't figure out why she wouldn't take him back this time. The divorce was final on a Tuesday. We got married that Friday at the courthouse with just my mom and her sister there. Dalton found out when Brooklyn was 5 months pregnant. He showed up at my apartment screaming about betrayal and family and how could I do this to him. I just stood there holding Brooklyn's hand and let him yell until he ran out of words. Now I wake up every morning next to Brooklyn in the house she won in the divorce.